Welcome to Inspirational Journeys, everyone. My name is Ann Harrison Barnes, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you and talk you through one of my favorite hobbies that I love to do aside from my writing. Okay, so as you know, I'm totally blind, and I know there are a lot of blind crocheters out there. So I want to show you what I absolutely love, love, love to do, and that is to crochet. See this? Okay, I was going to show you how to do a cross, but I had already finished up all the crosses I was going to do, but I'm working on a granny square, and some of this is cotton yarn for dishcloths. I was trying to make a little hand towel, which didn't work because, well, I didn't have enough yarn to finish the corner, but still, I'm going to play with this. I've got some extra yarn. It's a little thinner. I'm going to play with this, and the kids can play with it when I get it done. So I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see this. Let me know if you can. Let me get some more yarn off the ball. I'm going to show you what I'm doing with this granny square pattern. Okay, and I do this while I'm listening to books and other podcasts. So I'm going to kind of give you guys, and I'm going to talk you through the stitch as I do. Oops. I hit my braille display cord, so if that's what you heard. But I'm going to talk you through the stitches as I do them, okay? Now, where's the end of my yarn? Okay. I know, guys, I am keeping this real. This is unscripted, but you get to see the real me, okay? So I'm going to try to hold it up so you can see it. All right, so I've done this part here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to crochet. That's what I'm doing here. Chain 1. Skip 3 stitches. But before I do that, I do a yarn over like this because I'm going to start a double crochet. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3 stitches. We'll come into this. I'm going to 1 double crochet. And for those of you who don't know what I'm doing, hold on, I'll let me finish this one. Okay, so yarn over, put the stitch in the space, and you yarn over again. Pull the loop through. I do this two-handed. Some people do this one-handed because of the fact that if you can see what you're doing, you can hold your hook here. But for me, and I'm describing what I'm doing, some of this may not make sense to new people, but if you want a hobby, you can learn how to crochet. Anyway, so I hold it with 2 hands because I use this hand to guide it. But now you've got 3 loops on your hook, see? So you come around, yarn over, grab 2 loops, pull through, let the hook do the work, but guide it. Then you yarn over again, grab 2 loops, like this, pull that through, and then I've got, let's see, 1, 2, I need to do 1 more. Yarn over in the space and double crochet, as I described before. And if you're looking for a book to teach you how to crochet, there are several of them, but the one, and I can try to find the link for it, but there's one that I actually learned some things from, though it's a little bit, the descriptions may be a bit visual. I don't know if it's got pictures in it or not. I use the audio version from the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled, which is part of the Library of Congress reading program for the blind and disabled, but I'm sure you can get it in print, and I will be sure to get the link for you for the description if you're interested. But it's a book called Crochet Your Way, and it talks about how to do left-handed crochet. So you see, okay, I'm right-handed. I mean, I hold the yarn with my left. I'm right-handed, but you can do it left-handed, but I'm not the person to show you how to do that. So let me double count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, chain 1. And you skip 3 stitches and you do the same thing till you get to the corner, and I will have to show you, and this is and I can send you the granny square pattern if you want it. I have a text version. I've got a text document with several granny square patterns. If you want them and you know how to crochet and you want them, let me know, because I can send these to you. This is what I use. But I will be happy to do that. Okay, so it's chain 1 and then you skip 1, 2. I do it, oops, I did single crochet. See, we're all real here. I do this different because the pattern shows you a different way to do it, But I like doing the two the, the one stitch that's different in the pattern. I like doing that in the corners because it makes it kind of bulk out. It makes it kind of fluff out. But I can see why you would do that, especially at the start. But as you're working your rounds, you're gonna want to see what works for you, and you can vary. And you got the pattern. If you've got the basic stitches, you can always go. And I'm unrolling yarn, and some of it's trying to get okay. You can always go and make variations. If the pattern doesn't actually work, you can figure out what's working. If something's missing, then you may want to not work with that pattern. When you're finding patterns, be sure that they are accurate, because, and I'll tell you, if you're from the US stitches and UK description, terms and UK terms, from what I have heard from another blind crocheter, from the crafting circle group from the Hadley School for the Visually Impaired, what I have heard is that the UK either stitches or stitch terminology is different from US. I'm not sure, but if you look at that, just know that some of your terminology may be different. So when you're looking at things, so you want to definitely be sure to check that out. Let me see how many I've got here. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to talk you through it as I'm working the pattern, but still, just double check and make sure that the terminology is accurate. Or if you can find the difference in the terminology and compare the two, then you'll be able to work the pattern. And I have patterns from another group. There was this blind crafters group, and I shared the Dropbox with them, and that's where I got some of these patterns. But you can get them online. There's a site called Crochet Pattern Central. And if you're a knitter, there's another site called Knitting Pattern Central where you can get patterns, and they have pictures, but I have gotten patterns in the past from them that were actually easy to follow without the pictures. So you may want to check those out too if you're a crocheter. I'm just kind of giving you a few resources to look into as I do this, and I'm going to show you once I get to the corner. This is pretty big, so I'm almost there. I may be running a little long and rambling just a little bit as I crochet, but I want to show you something and talk you through something, and I've got to actually get to that point so that I can share this with you. And then this is part of my demo. I'm not going to do the whole square. No, no, that would be a little bit much. And that would run a little long. So I'm not going to do the whole square, but I am going to do the corner to show you what I'm doing. If anybody wants the pattern, like I said, I will be happy to email it to you. And all you have to do, or I can post it on, social media. If you have a crafting group, I can share it with you, and you can just post it there. If anybody wants any of the patterns, I've got several. Just let me know what you're interested in, and I will be happy to share those. They are text documents. So let's see. We count here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Just want to make sure I have the stitches right, because it's crucial. And I found, oh snap. What did I do? Oh dear. 1, 2. Oh, okay, I see. Never mind. I was looking at because what I do, and some people can eyeball it to make sure they're doing it right. But what I do is I feel along the edges for the stitches, because you can feel the difference in a single crochet and a double crochet. Single crochet is just a loop, like two strand loop at the top that you make. Okay, that's basically all it is. Let's see. Yeah, double crochet, the way I look at a double crochet, it's 3. You got the 2 loops at the top, or the 2-part loop at the top. Yeah, I'm getting it. Okay, I got it. I just had, my yarn was just, I didn't have enough yarn out, so it was making tension. Okay, and so, okay, so let me show you. Okay, I don't have the single crochet here. But you see right here, you got these two loops. If you just had the single crochet, you'd have these two loops only. But you got this right under here where my finger is, right there. That's how I can tell the difference in a double crochet and a single crochet. Those are double crochets. Half doubles look the same, but doubles are just a little bit wider, and you kind of have to, and I noticed with half double crochets, you don't do this, but with double crochets, you kind of have to pull the tops up because it kind of makes a little hump in it. So it helped in the fabric. So what I do is I do like that to kind of loosen the stitches and make it look right. So, yep, that's what I do. To kind of give it a little looser look and feel. You don't want it too loose because you don't want you don't want strands of yarn hanging loosely on your fabric because then it would look kind of weird, honestly. Yeah, so that's why I try not to do that, but I have pulled it, trying to, fix it. And sometimes it'll hang loose especially if it's a heavier project. Yeah, if it's a heavier project, it'll hang loose too. So just know that that's something that you may want to look out for, watch and feel for. And you can do this without looking. I do. If you use both hands like I do, you can still watch TV and do your crochet like this. A lot of people say, oh, well, you have to look down at your stitches. You may want to take a look and count, or you can feel your way through to do it. And I actually did, and I never got it published anywhere. I may do it on my blog though, but I actually did an article called Crocheting Without Looking. I did a video demo for college years ago, if you go back and look at my YouTube channel, to do the demonstration, and I did it differently because I didn't do the granny square. I did the rows, and I had to constantly count stitches to make sure it was straight. Okay, so that's one thing you got to do when you're doing rows. And some people find that tedious. I found it hard to keep straight, but now that I've seen how the granny square works, if I'm making blankets or whatever, let's just say that if I'm making blankets, I will probably, what did I do there? I will probably do the granny square pattern, because now scarves, I don't see that could, I don't see that in work. I actually have an icicle, try that again, icicle, let me go back and do that over, bookmark pattern. It's a little big for a bookmark, but I could probably double it up to make the scarf, to make it longer and make it different, because I just usually do a double crochet or something like that. And why did I do that over, you're asking? If you're watching, you can see it. Why did I do that over? Because the stitch was too tight or something. And excuse me, I didn't like how it felt. So I had to fix it. Excuse me. I think allergies or something making me sound a little odd today. Yeah, it's one of those days. But anyway, so that's why I had to start over. And sometimes you have to do that, especially if you don't get your pattern straight. Now let me see. Yes, much better. That's better. Okay. So we are almost to the corner, and I'm going to show you how to do this. And then I'm going to end this because I don't want to keep you too long, because I'm going to do other videos today too to air later. So stay tuned for those. Be looking out for those, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and the podcast episode so you don't miss an episode. Okay? And I don't know if kids would want to do this kind of thing. You could get older kids to do it, and it could be an activity. But if you need an extra hobby as a writer, this is something I would recommend. Crocheting or knitting. I actually did do some knitting one time, but the only thing I had was the 2 needles for straight knitting. I did not get the circular or the pointed needles, and it's hard to make circular things with straight needles. I could do blankets. I did it. I worked on a blanket that had you increase. You start with like 1 or 2 stitches at the beginning. You increase, and then at the center to make a triangle, and then you decrease. Once you increase it, then you come around and you decrease it. So that's something too. And I would love to learn how to loom knit, which I think crafters, the crafter circle beanie I was talking about, we'll probably be discussing that soon. So I find things like that fascinating. Certain crafts I absolutely love. There are certain crafts that, if there's something you're not interested in, you find what works for you. But yarn kind of things, and when I was at camp, yarn kind of things work for me. When I was at camp, I'm almost at the corner, I promise. And I'm rambling a little bit, but I want to keep talking while I'm doing the crochet because I think it's important. You find out new hobbies and you find new things. And while I'm crocheting, I'm relaxed. So I'm rambling a bit more than I usually do. So I do apologize if I run a little long. But anyway, well, maybe I shouldn't apologize because I'm talking about something I absolutely love. So, and when you love something, what you're doing, what did I do? Oh, never mind. Okay. When you love something, when you love what you're doing, you get excited about it and you have fun. So this is the whole point of me doing this, to show you how I have a little fun. Okay. So, but anyway, when I was at camp, when I was at the Georgia Lions Camp for the Blind, a girl that I met, and I don't remember her name, and I wouldn't mention names anyway, but this girl that I met, she taught me how to finger weave, and I will mess around with that when I'm got just a little tiny bit of yarn and I'm kind of bored. Yeah, I'm kind of bored, so I will mess around with that a little bit here and there, but I don't do that much of it. So what in the world? Oh, okay, having to go back, y'all, because something did not. Okay. Give me just a second. I will finish my statement in just a minute. I'm checking my work here. Okay. Yeah, I had to unravel and redo. So I'm checking my work here. Sometimes you have to do that. Anyway, but I'll play around with that when I have just a little tiny piece of scrap yarn. Then I'll wind up throwing it away. But I'll do that just for fun. And the only thing I could make out of it was belts and things. So if I were to do something like that, it would be, I would have to do the strips and then take my crochet hook, because Mama started teaching me how to crochet and I could never figure it out. I was getting it too tight. But I would take my crochet hook and stitch the pieces together is what I think I would wind up doing, because that would be something that okay, that would be something that you can do just for fun and to play with. But I never really saw it was fun to learn how to do it, but I never really saw the purpose in what you can make with it. So I only do it when I have these little tiny, like, scraps of yarn that you roll up into a ball the size of your little finger. So that's when I do it, when I don't really have enough yarn to crochet anything, not even a swatch. So I'll do that. So this, that's what I'll do. But most of the time I like to crochet. Crocheting to me is easier than knitting. I'm not saying you can't knit, because there is a book that I learned a lot from, and I'm not going to say the word because it's not something nice on a Christian podcast, but it's stitching, well, it's not the word complain, but it's the B word that basically means that. The Knitter's Handbook. And the author said that they do knitting circles all the time. So at craft stores and things. So yeah, if you want me to tell you the name of it, let me know, and if you want to know the name of the book, if you're a knitter, and you're listening to this, let me know and I'll email it to you privately. Okay? Because I don't want to get people mad at me because you're supposed to be a Christian-based podcast and you no. And no, I'm just not that way. So that's why I said that. Okay. All right. So okay. Now we're coming up to the corner one. Okay. Chain one. Skip 1, 2, 3. Go in here. Now, what I do here in the corner, now this is why I wanted you to see this because it's important. This is where the change comes in, and you'll see it when you get when you look at the pattern. If you know how to do granny squares, you see that there are different changes. So, when you get to a corner, I'm going to show you what I actually do different. I'm going to do something a little different, and then I'm going to go to the next side, and then we're going to kind of bring it to the end, okay? So I double crochet 3. Count myself because I have done 4 before. All right, double crochet 3, chain 2. 2. Okay, then you go back into that space. You see what I've done here? Wait, don't is it? All right, you see what I've done here? Now, you go back into the same chain, you go back into that same space. All right, I'm gonna have to turn it because it's corner. So you go into the same space and you double crochet 3 again. And if you want me to, if anybody's interested and you'd like me to do a video on how to start a square, I've learned something and I've got to go back and look it up and see how to do it. But I learned a technique. And I wanted to mention this while I'm doing the corner, while I'm showing you this. I learned the technique that is called the magic ring for when you're starting like crochet squares or circular projects. That way you're not trying to like chain 4 and then stitch into that ring and you lose it. There's something called the magic ring. And when you do that, you don't have this big hole in the center of your square, because you can take that end, instead of doing a slip knot in the end of it, you can take that end and pull it tight, close it. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to chain 1, skip 3, and I'm going to just start this because, yeah. And see, that's how you do the corner. You chain 3, you double crochet 3, chain 2, double crochet 3 in the same space, and then you chain 1, skip 3, double crochet 3. That's how I do it, because the piece is wider and you don't want poofy spaces in your pieces. So I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do this one stitch so that I can let you guys go, so I can do another one because I don't want to keep you too long. Okay, so anyway, this is my fun writing hobby to do when I'm not writing. It's relaxing, and I can do it while listening to a book. Or you can do it if you like to have a bit of quiet time. You can do this in quiet. And if you're working on a stitch on a granny square or a circular pattern, now this is where I got inspiration from it. I was able to, as I was listening to a podcast, one time I crocheted some socks. And any kind of circular pattern like that, when you crochet it, I don't know what it is, but it's really relaxing. It's really fun to do those. And sometimes my mind wanders and I get inspiration from my books. So don't discredit the crafts that you can do, because you can sit there, and if you can do like a granny square, a simple stitch pattern where you don't have to count, and you can sit there and crochet for a while as you're reading or in solitude, and you have to stop and write things down. Allow your mind to wander when you're doing that, because allow yourself to gain inspiration, because I think that's what's going to be important, and that's where you're going to find the fun in it. So you guys have a blessed day. Stay safe. Happy writing, happy reading, happy crocheting, if that's what you decide to do. And let me know if you would like the patterns that I have, resources. Let me know how I can help. And I will talk to you guys later. Take care now. Bye-bye.